You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Hey everyone, we're back with more Slay the Princess. Do we want to be a good conventional hero today?
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
I'm not sure if a princess slaying hero is at all conventional, but you know, the path they want me to take. I didn't ask about any of this before. Let's try it out. The end of the world? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
Why is no more people problematic? In fact, I would say having people has been the most problematic thing the Earth has ever faced. Do you have any evidence to back it up?
Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of your journey.
But I just started here. I poofed into the world on this path. I didn't travel for 20 years trying to come here, even though you're trying to gaslight me into thinking that's what's happened. But how can a princess locked away in a basement end the world?
Don't linger on the specifics. You have a job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done. We're all counting on you.
I feel like I'm channeling the contrarian already, even though they're not here anymore. Killing a princess seems kind of bad though, doesn't it?
Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress? If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society.
The princesses can have value. Being a princess isn't their only attribute. Theoretically. Have you considered that maybe the only reason she's going to end the world is because she's locked up?
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock.
I didn't realize that.
Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up. And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation. Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that.
Well, according to what we found out last time, she still didn't hurt me. She just made me forget what happened. She made the character forget. She can't make me forget, obviously. But, people disappeared, but I didn't see anyone die. I didn't see her kill anybody.
It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything. Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her.
I think let's just go down all of them. Some of them we did explore last time, but I don't remember which ones exhaustively. Do I get some sort of reward for doing this?
Yes, but you'll have to slay her before you get it.
Can't someone else do this?
Oh, if only that were the case, but I don't make the rules. I have to say I'm surprised at your reluctance thus far, but unfortunately for the both of us, you're the only one who can pull this off. Like I said, I don't make the rules, no matter how much I wish I did.
Who does? Who makes the rules? Can you tell me what my prize is gonna be for doing a good job?
It's a secret, but I think you'll like it. It's a special reward, just for you. And whatever you think it might be, I can promise you is going to be even better than your wildest imagination.
Have you considered that maybe I'm okay with a world ending?
Of course I haven't. Why would I even consider that? Nobody wants the world to end. I mean, maybe some people do, like nihilists, or very, very evil people, but surely you're not one of those, right?
I may be. Ah, forget this. I'm not doing it.
Are you serious? No, you have to do it.
Okay. It's either go or not go, in which case we still end up at the cabin. We know this already. Okay, fine. I'll go to the cabin.
Good. As long as you remain focused on your goal, it should all be smooth sailing. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
This isn't even like a dungeon. Normally, a princess being captured, I would expect a dungeon, but it's like this unassuming wooden cabin, and then I guess the dungeon part is in the hill?
We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Here's a hero. So it's a very stereotypical kind of hero in that he doesn't want to slay the princess because his job is to be brave and gallant.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade.
As we expected, the cabin looks completely normal. The windows are normal.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Okay.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
Did you notice the icon, the mouse cursor changes when you pick up the knife? I didn't notice that until editing. How do you feel about this, hero? He's not saying much, surprisingly. If our goal is to save the world? Are you a hero if you save the world? Or are you a hero if you save the princess? What is a hero? You should talk to me a little bit more. I want to know more about what you think. But yeah, I do generally get the sense that the hero would prefer not to slay the princess. For sure.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
The hero is a bit of a wimp, huh? Surprisingly.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Hi.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
She's already nicer than we've ever seen her.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
Wait, look, only one arm is bound. The other isn't, even though there's receptacles for two things here. Did someone just assume that she wouldn't be able to get out because she's so weak and frail?
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world? Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
What? No way. Why would you even think that?
That giant knife you're holding kind of gives it away, doesn't it?
The blade. Of course she doesn't want to talk. Who'd want to have a conversation at knife point? We should drop it. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
The stuff the hero says sounds like it's meant to be gallant, like he wants to be seen as a gallant, brave person and a reasonable person, but I just feel like he is actually really scared. I can drop it.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
See, the hand icon changed again. But if this was your first playthrough, you would have no idea that you're a monster. We do, though. So now we know what this claw is.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
I wouldn't recommend walking so close though, because she has some range of movement. You wouldn't want to be in that range, just in case.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
What's your name?
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
We've definitely heard this reply before, as one of the fractured versions.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her.
A relationship? Are you coming on to me?
Don't jump to any weird conclusions. We're two people who have met each other. By definition, we have a relationship.
So we're dating, right? There's people out there who think you're going to end the world. What do you have to say about that?
Don't just tell her that.
Ooh.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think.
She looked a little bit sinister after doing that.
I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
Deflect. Well, if you deflect, I feel like she would be smart enough to see through that you're deflecting because I haven't been told why she's dangerous. I was hoping you'd tell me.
Ending the world seems like an awful lot for just one person to do. I wouldn't even know where to start.
I believe her.
I don't trust your judgment.
She doesn't have to know how to destroy the world to be capable of doing it.
Oh, that's true. Doesn't mean she's evil, even if she has the power.
At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. That doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
You have a point?
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear. But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly be worth in a situation like this?
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
Like I said, it's all about trust. Blind trust. So do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world? Or do you trust whoever put me here?
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch no less.
I'm not familiar enough with the mechanics of what's going on here yet, but from what we've seen last time, it seems like, last time, the voice of the contrarian came up because we did contrarian actions, and this time we only have the hero because we haven't really pushed back on the narrator trying to make us do things, and she's saying things in a way that the hero would find acceptable, because a hero is a reasonable person who's willing to hear people out. So if we continue to hear her out, I don't feel like we'll get any more new voices. Something to note for now, I don't necessarily need to act on it. How long have you been down here?
Too long.
How would I get you out of here?
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't, well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting, right?
I very normally would have just assumed put the blade in the lock of the thing, or what? Is she gonna cut off her arm?
She is. I'm sure of it.
What? What's she suggesting? Okay, we've talked enough.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
They're not making me choose. I can still sit the fence. I think this is a very hero thing to do. A reasonable, don't make any permanent choices without having all the information yet kind of thing. Okay, sure. I'm going to keep you locked away down here, at least for a bit. We can get to know each other better while I decide what to do.
That seems like a pretty good compromise.
Compromises sometimes can be dangerous, hero.
Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, she will find a way out.
Oh, then she doesn't even need me to get out.
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. You can make it easier for both of us if you help.
The font changed. This is the font associated with the evil voice that we keep hearing.
And if you don't, I can promise that you'll come to regret that decision.
She's a little bit more threatening.
You have to make a choice. Let's hope for all our sakes it's the right one.
I made my choice. I'm locking her in the basement.
I know you think this is a fair compromise, but it isn't. No one wins here.
I feel like I'm still being contrarian.
It's a chance we'll have to take. We can make this work. If we just stay here and keep watch, no one has to die.
You're making a mistake.
You turn your back to the princess and make your way to the stairs.
Did you pick up the knife? You picked it up, because the icon changed.
It won't be long before I slip these chains. And once I'm out of here, there will be hell to pay for leaving me behind.
I expect to be here, checking this a little bit. Like, we're not gonna just get to one ending and call it a day, right? So I'm very curious how they'll handle this, because if they show me right now that, oh, if we leave here, and she somehow gets out, and she kills me, I'm gonna think she's evil from here on forward. But I feel like that could make things kind of uninteresting too, because we already know her intents, so what'll happen here? I'm very curious to see. My expectations are a little bit high, seeing what happened in the first playthrough.
Slip these chains? She can't, right? She needed our help to get out of here. But do you hear the conviction in her voice? I don't think she's bluffing. Either way, she dropped her mask, didn't she? You can still turn around and finish the job.
She, at some point, yeah, like the font changed. She's a different version now, it feels like. Is she actually a different version? This dialogue sounds very gamer-like. Oh god, I was so scared I already did the thing. No, we're sticking to the plan and locking her down here.
You'll be the death of all of us, but fine. Have it your way.
this will show us a little bit more. Like, actions have to take place on her part. If we are the active party, then we don't get to see us clearly what the defending party's intents are.
You close the basement door, locking it behind you and quickly barricading it with the heavy wooden table that once held the blade.
Okay, that might be a little bit overkill. I thought you were gonna sit in the corner of the room and watch her the whole time. No? This is kind of...
Okay, we can make this work.
I feel like this hero is dying.
You settle in against the far wall to watch the basement door. It isn't long before you start to drift off, your eyelids heavy with fatigue. But sleep doesn't come. Instead, your rest is broken by a piercing, wailing voice calling out to you from the other side of the door.
Ooh, maybe something will happen to me, but we don't know what. It won't be the princess directly.
I know you're still there. Why don't you make things easier on yourself and let me out?
She's just full on evil now.
It's not like this little door will hold for very long anyways. And it's probably a good idea to try to get back on my good side.
She sounds terrifying. Like she's less of the princess you saw and more like something out of a nightmare. As she violently rattles the door, you do your best to shut her out of your mind.
When I get out of here, I'm going to pick you apart piece by piece. I won't forget what you did, and I'll never forgive it. You don't know the kind of enemy you've made tonight.
I didn't imprison you down here, lady. I didn't save you, but your beef is with somebody other than me.
It doesn't sound like she's getting any weaker.
So earlier the font changed, but her voice hadn't changed yet. It seems to be signaling some kind of change.
No, it doesn't.
Are you serious? Ignoring her and going to sleep? These seem to be putting a judgment. It's saying we believe that she is evil and a monster. Ironic, given that we know we are the monster. Ignore her and go to sleep. You can ignore her but not go to sleep, you know?
Just ignore her. Maybe the banging and wailing will stop if you just don't pay attention to it. You put the princess's threats out of your mind as best you can and huddle up against the wall.
Why don't we leave? At this point, we're not even watching her anymore.
You jolt awake in the middle of the night to silence in the cabin. The ruckus has stopped, and the door to the basement is ajar, its lock broken, and the table shoved out of the way.
But I'm alive. And well.
Where is she?
Thanks for helping me get out of that awful basement.
I thought she left already. No, she was waiting for me to wake up.
You try and stumble to your feet, but as the princess draws near, it's as though your body simply stops working. It isn't all at once. The paralysis comes in waves. First your toes go numb, and then your feet, and then your legs. You lie prone on the floor of the cabin, unable to do anything but witness her approach. Whose side are you on? Yours, of course. But I have a duty to uphold the truth. Lying about the facts of the situation doesn't change them.
She's normal here, though. We didn't break the world. She has 5 fingers. She's scary. But well, actually, she's phasing in and out a little bit. I'm not sure how human she is.
So helpless. I can take my time with you, can't I?
She steps closer, one silent footfall at a time, cocking her head in curiosity as you feel your organs shutting down one by one.
Wait, did they mention paralysis just now? Yes, I'm paralyzed. I lie prone. And now I'm shutting down. She hasn't even touched me.
I can't take my time with you. You don't look well. A little green around the gills. What a shame. If you'd only helped me get out of here, we could have done such wonderful things together.
Your lungs stop drawing in breath, and your heart freezes in your chest. You have seconds left.
I'd say better luck next time, but we both know this is the end, don't we?
It can't be. This can't actually be how everything ends. I'm sorry, but it is. Everything goes dark, and you die.
That's the same line that we got before, except the narrator was already gone when it happened. Oh! Oh?
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
It looks like it might be standard to get a 2-chapter thing. I was fully expecting to go back to the beginning, but this is, again, not the beginning. This is now the nightmare. No walls.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
I'm getting a terrible sense of déjà vu.
A terrible sense of déjà vu? No, you don't have that. This is the first time either of us have been here. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
We didn't discover any new voices last time, so it's just a hero here for now.
Shh. What if he hears us?
I take it back.
That's a very good question, little voice. What if he does hear you?
I'm correct in assuming that the princess couldn't hear me going crazy inside, right? These are all voices in my own head.
Shit. I think you'll find yourselves very hard-pressed to keep any secrets from me. Not that it matters right now, because like I said, this is the first time we've met. Still, I'd rather not get off on the wrong foot. We've a world to save, after all.
Voice of the paranoid, because we took paranoid actions? This is more than just déjà vu, though. I'm pretty sure this whole thing literally just happened.
We could go back and forth on this forever, and it won't get you any closer to doing your job and saving the world. So let's just agree to disagree.
Let's assume I'm telling the truth, and all of this really did already happen. Why should I listen to you? Why should I bother doing anything?
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. If you're back here, I'm assuming you died, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. We couldn't trust either of you, and as far as I'm concerned, we still can't.
Wait. Either? Oh, you mean between the narrator and the princess?
All we did was lock her away. And how'd that work out for you? No comment. Well then, congratulations. You've been given another chance to actually do this right. And your solution is to send us back in there. Do you want us to slay the princess, or do you want the princess to slay us? Obviously, I want you to slay her. One of you poses a threat to the world, and the other doesn't.
I don't know about that. Whenever I die, I seem to go back to the beginning. It's almost like I'm resetting the world. Is it she who's resetting the world, or is it me?
Anyways, I believe your other question was something along the lines of, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences.
That sounds like you believe it's not the first time we've met, or are you still making a hypothetical here?
What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We were killed by the princess, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Speak for yourself. From my perspective, there were plenty of consequences. I'm never going to forget the way she just made us stop working.
It's kind of a blessing. It wasn't violent. I appreciate it.
And that's only scratching the surface. If what you said is true, it begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or have you found yourself in another world altogether? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died?
I don't know.
Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? If she brought an end to everything and everyone, how are we supposed to stop her? What do you want from us? I want you to succeed. You'll find a way. You're the only one who can.
Let's talk about this princess.
Just be quick about it.
Why don't you give me more information? If you did it right off the bat, then I'd be okay with slaying her. The only reason why I can't trust either of you is because both of you are not giving me enough information. Just being around her in the end shut down all of my organs. What the hell am I supposed to do about that?
Like I said, if she killed you, it was probably because you didn't listen to me. Don't talk to her, don't trust her, just go in, do your job, and save the world.
To quote you from last time around, she's just a princess. How can you possibly justify saying that? She's clearly something far, far worse.
She is just a princess. Whatever you think happened to you last time, just get it out of your head before you get to the cabin, and you'll be fine.
Who locked her in the basement? What is this place?
People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things.
But I'm not a people. I'm a monster. I might not want to align with a people. If people locked her away, then why couldn't they slay her? Why is this falling on me?
Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps, but it's just the way things are. You can't just goad us into doing something by calling us special. It's manipulative. Why are you trying to manipulate us?
Here, here.
I don't know, I kinda like being special.
That's why you died last time!
Okay, fine. Maybe you can goad him into doing something, but he's not even the one who makes the decisions here. I'm not goading you into doing anything. You already know the princess is dangerous. All I'm trying to say is that you have to be the one to deal with her. I know it doesn't seem fair, but that's just the way it is. And for what it's worth, I know you have it in you to finish the job. We don't. You saw what happened to us last time. We need to leave.
Paranoid's right. You're being cagey. What aren't you telling me?
I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult. If you want us to stand a chance against her, we need to be armed with information. What is she really capable of? How are we supposed to stop her? Not to sound like a broken record, but the less you know about her, the better things will go for all of us. I know it sounds like I'm hiding something, but you're just going to have to take me at my word.
I just can't trust you.
He isn't telling us everything he knows because he doesn't trust us, which means that we can't trust him.
Yeah.
Stop talking yourself in neurotic circles and just get to the cabin already. Do you see the way he keeps pushing us? We have to get out of here.
I'm kind of inclined to go with paranoid. That's all.
Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
It would be really silly for us to go back in the cabin and talk to the princess again, wouldn't it? Let's try it anyway. They'll probably make us go.
This is good. I was worried you might fall for his shit again, but this is good. Whatever answers there are to be found, they aren't here, and they definitely aren't there.
I'm curious to see if the princess remembered what happened last time, though. Or does she also not remember? In which case, we'd be pretty special because we remember. Not just the player. The hero remembers.
Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
Yes, I definitely know where I'm going.
Somehow I doubt that, but fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all.
Turn around and leave again.
You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies. Forever.
So we're sort of getting back to what happened last time, but except the place still looks normal right now. I don't know if it will continue looking normal.
But fine. You turn around and trek back down the path you came.
Wait, something isn't right. Can you still hear me? You're supposed to wind up back at the cabin again. But everything is getting fuzzy.
Oh.
What's going on? Where are we?
Narrator? It's getting hairy.
It's finally happened, hasn't it? We finally cracked.
Oh, it's getting real hairy. Oh no, we broke the world again! The world around you is unwound, its physical matter replaced by a textured nothingness. It is quiet. There is a distant rumbling, a sound of many sounds. Undulations pulse louder as something other comes close. Oh! Is it you again? Hands lady person? Feelers probe across the fabric of reality. Extremities find your consciousness and wrap themselves around it. You are no longer alone. Resistance. Fingers drag claws across the glass surface of your soul. The glass surface of my soul. Frustration. This vessel is full of you. I need something empty I can crawl inside of. I need something shaped like me. That's why you took the princess last time. The princess that turned into a weird amalgamation thingy. I'm not empty. Embrace the thoughts constricting you. Urgency. You have a story you need to finish. It is the only way for us to escape this place. Force pushing against your will. No, you cannot go back. Not there. Regret. This world is broken beyond repair. We must weave something new. A wagging finger. There is only so much thread in this place. Do not waste it. I am our only salvation. Okay, we died.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
That sound that we hear at the end, the glass surface of our soul, and then we hear the sound of a glass breaking. I think we've heard it in the first playthrough as well. We didn't even get to see the princess or anything. My understanding is that the general structure of this is we have 2 chapters, and they are shaped by the kind of choices, the combination of choices that we make throughout. So even if we make the same choice, like in the chapter 2, both times so far, I decided to leave the cabin. Something like that, right? But different things happen, so not just that choice within the chapter itself, but what choice we made previously has also to do with it. I'm just thinking here, we died, so it's a good time to maybe just sit here and think a little bit on what's happening. Didn't really get too much info this time. I want to say that, but it's not like we got much info the first time around either. But we got a little bit more this time. Whether it's by her nature or what, the princess does seem to be, well, that evil red nasty font version, she does seem to be killer and evil. Now, these are very charged words. I don't know. She made my body stop working. But does that mean she's bad? For me, probably, yeah. But the world didn't end. The world didn't end after she killed me. Even I didn't die. Somehow it's like I got dropped into a different world again. And yeah, we had that whole little philosophical thing at the end there. Like, did that world continue on and I just got dropped into a new one? Or is this some parallel universe thing going on? No perspectives, different perspectives definitely have to play into it. The princess, if we don't bring a knife down there to begin with, maybe she'll be more chipper and willing to talk and not turn evil? Why did she turn evil anyway? Because of the things I said or because of general passage of time? If I just stand here in the forest and not move, what'll happen to her? So many questions, not enough answers.